not going to judge it based on that single game yesterday, but I just hope that we don't. You know, we can cheer when Yubi gets banned again. I think it's safe. We only needed 2 games. I think we're good now. We've gotten our fill. But Poppy going to get taken away alongside Karma, Gragas, the Aphelios as well, obviously for Supa. Already got a pentakill on it, has looked good on it. Not the only champion that he's busted out, but an impressive one nonetheless.
This music gave me the vibes of like just standing outside a club and you can hear the music inside, but you're not quite in there just yet, you know what I mean? But you can still get a vibe
we're all waiting outside the club right now. Bouncer's got to get us through picks and bans.
Xayah, Aphelios, Poppy does suggest an early priority on the Kalista. Is this something that Mad Lions want to lock in? Of course, with Varus up and available, we already saw that matchup. But nope, they've decided that they want to get their hands on this for Supa. And the Varus response. So the AD carry pool hasn't changed.
Yeah, I was going to say, so while we talked about Spice, you're not going to get in the bot lane.
Also, the beauty of this Varus pick denies it away from Merwin.
Yes, genius.
But it should come as no surprise. Noah, 2 games on the champion so far this season has been super high priority, considered the strongest AD carry, especially with the amount of different builds that he has that you can go for on this patch.
Yeah, I just feel it's just so incredibly flexible. And you're not going to be able to pack quite as much punch in terms of early game skirmishing as a Kalista does, but you offer a lot of reliability in other ways, now paired alongside the Brand. So some very powerful, impactful team fighting ultimates. And Brand, a champion who has been really good as an individual, I think, in almost every game we've seen him. He's always ahead of the opponent when it comes to clear speed, when it comes to damage output, kind of as you'd expect. But how teams craft a composition around the Brand is always the big question for me.
I got to credit KC. They were the ones that brought it out onto the LEC stage. Of course, we've been seeing it in solo queue for a very long time, but it really does seem that pros are very hype and enthusiastic about this Brand jungle. The Blitzcrank coming out as an answer to Varus, and the Belveth from Alyoya. No stranger to that carry jungler, something we saw a lot from him last year on the previous iteration of the Mad Lions roster, with the Nautilus response coming out from Fnatic. So the bot laners, very standard, something that we've been seeing a lot so far this split, but the jungle matchup, Brand versus Belveth, the first time that we're going to get to see that matchup on the LEC stage.
I mean, super explosive matchup. Either side getting a lead could make the opposite side's life a living hell if they're able to find those invades, but I'm ready to see specifically what Noah and Jun looks like up against Supa and Alvaro, because I think that this Blitz is always just going to be a terrifying pick, and while we've seen some kind of lackluster Blitz games, we haven't seen one of those from Alvaro yet. So need to see if they're going to be able to find, you know, a 2v2 angle here on the bottom side, as they have in so many of the games they played on stage thus far.
Orianna going to be taken away from the side of Fnatic, trying to mitigate that mid pool. Does suggest that they're looking to try and give an answer to Oscarinin. You already mentioned it earlier, we've been seeing a lot of Cassante from him. The Talia ban is a little bit surprising. Your expectations are that we'll see some sort of AD mid laner coming out from Humanoid. Maybe a Lucian, maybe we'll see a Tristana, maybe he's even been cooking the Twisted Fate. Have you seen the AD Twisted Fate terrorizing solo queue right now?
Yes, I have. I most certainly have. What I will say is I feel like teams have the shortest memory of all time. Like, Tristana would make sense here. You need an AD mid laner, and you couldn't pick Corki in this context, but I just want to highlight, Corki is still really good on this patch.
That's true.
He was broken last week, and he didn't get touched at all. Like, he's still broken. Ox from the LCK has been complaining about it at every waking opportunity. I would be surprised if we don't see that kind of be a potential response here, but instead, Mad Lions Koi taking their time. I like that Fnatic gave an earlier pick to Humanoid to ensure a counter pick for Oscar.
Oh, wow. They're going to lock in the Akali. The question is this going top or mids? I think that into Tristana, it's really not fun. Okay, so we're going to get the Zac top? I think.
Found our scrim bubble. Hey, I see who's scrimming G2. Well, I figured that one out. Can't imagine the 2 separate teams came to that conclusion on their own. But
and
now a Darius
from Oscarinin. Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right. So we look at bot lane.
We found the scrim bubbles.
Vanilla ice cream. But then we've thrown every single topping on top of this vanilla ice cream and draft. This is going to be spicy. The amount of long-range engage when you have a Zac on your team is incredible, most certainly. But Darius, for a composition like this, if he gets ahead, is going to be very tough to kill.
I don't see a Darius in Oscarinin's competitive history. As far as I can tell, this is his first competitive game on the champion.
Yep.
Wow, and he's going to bring it out as an answer to Zac. I'm super excited. I guess you can apprehend him out of the leap.
You can,
certain situations. I'm sure the apprehend can be very valuable in certain situations into that matchup. But all right, looking at these compositions, you already highlighted the bot side of the map, very standard, but also very violent. This is the bot lane where you're going to want to see a lot of action, you're going to see a lot of fighting. Don't be surprised to see Fnatic looking to set up dives on that side of the map. You've got great push in the mid lane. The problem with Akali playing into the Tristana is that you just don't have that early push. You're going to be bullied in that early laning phase. So we'll see how Mad Lions Koi can navigate that early pressure. Because the fans are fully behind Mad Lions Koi in the arena today. A lot of support for them. And I'm sure the Fnatic faithful will show their support in due time.
Yeah, they're getting amped up as well. Fans from both sides in-house. But let's get into it. Game 1, Mad Lions Koi versus Fnatic. It's a best of 3. It's double elimination from this point on. Neither side looking to drop down to the lower end of the bracket. 3 of the 4 teams awaiting them have already been decided. The 4th we will find out here. And yeah, at this stage, kind of just keeping track on a lot of... We know what mid lane is going to look like. That's the one that I'm like, ah, yes. We know. Chill. Bot lane, it's going to be Psycho.
For Akali, I can tell you that.
I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen more Tristana. I know the context in which you want to pick her is mostly AP junglers, and there's not a lot of good AP junglers right now. But very impressive, you know? Very easy to get tower plates. Accrue a gold advantage.
But, I mean, jungle pathing is going to be super important in this game. You would imagine that bot prio is going to be really important. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mad Lions Koi do something that we see a lot from G2, which is the classic push into walk with support, invade. And as I said, they're already looking to get a bit of early vision. Frescowi going to drop his ward, find out where Razork is starting. So great information already gathered by Mad Lions Koi. Now the question is, will Elyoya just do a full clear topside, or will he potentially do blue into bot side into potential invade?
Well, Oscar's now going to spot him out and wander in here. Just harass, just slow down the early clear. They have information on Brand, but Elyoya's clear is, of course, delayed at least slightly. Instantly going to start up the Wolves there.
Shouldn't affect his pathing too much.
Yeah.
Just a little bit annoying. Just going in and doing what he can already in the early levels. Now, yesterday, we saw Aatrox into Zac, and Aatrox was actually winning out a lot on the early skirmishes, but then an early gank came through from Yike, which then swung the match very heavily.
Oh, first hook in favor of Fnatic. Follow-up hook from Alvaro, but not a favorable trade overall. Supa trying to get a little bit of damage back in the meantime, but one of the big discrepancies here in terms of keystones is Hail of Blades on the Varus. Just going to be able to get a lot of damage down faster. Extended trades you expect to favor the Kalista, but early on, Mad Lions Koi are going to have to be careful. They can't afford to let another Nautilus hook connect.
Level 2 will come through first for Mad Lions Koi. And, yeah, mid lane. I don't know if he voluntarily won. I'm thinking, like, in the greater context of Akali, I think that it can be very good into low mobility carries like Brand and Varus, these champs that don't have these dashes later on into the game. Akali loves playing into those champs. I mean, we've even seen Akali used as an answer to Darius top before. The E, your ability to avoid the apprehend in the extended skirmishes, you can play around it as well. So, but in this mid lane matchup specifically, very miserable. Now, Razork has been spotted out with the early push that they have in Mad Lions Koi bot lane. And this is exactly what we were talking about, right?
Yeah, credit to you. You called it out entirely by yourself, Eddie. You said bot push, early vision. How will they use that pressure? And here it is. They got the pressure. Ooh. They're using it to fish for a hook. That one will not work, but it does mean stealing away the blue buff from a Brand jungle feels very positive. Elyoya's blue, of course, still up and available, but Jun on the chase now.
Now, I mean, the bot lane doesn't really lose much off the back of this either. They might lose a creep or two, but at the end of the day, advantage gained for Elyoya. He's going to put a bit of pressure on that Brand. So credit to him, doing exactly what he needs to do. He can path back up towards topside. He still has his blue up and available, and there's very little that Razork can do to contest that back. And this is the strength of this Bel'Veth in the early game. Your clear speed is incredibly fast, but also just against a Brand jungle, you have really powerful skirmishing because those cooldowns on a Brand are still very, very long. So even if you land a full combo, it in an extended fight, it's not going to do you many favors.
I mean, also, like, just Bel'Veth as a champion, you got 4 dashes.
True.
Brand is a champion who's essentially hard countered by boots too 90% of the time. So, you know, having 4 extra dashes on top of that, even if the direction's not always going to work out, very positive for the 1v1. But now Razork stepping in, red buff there. Upfront burst damage, Razork certainly pulls out ahead. Top lane push for Oscar as well, but Elyoya just wants to fish for the 1v1. Stepping in, the stun does connect. A lot of damage going down. Pillar of Fire managing to connect as well. Elyoya doesn't want to follow up. Flash out from Razork, traded for the ghost of Elyoya.
I will say the coordination there from Fnatic is a bit off. I don't think Razork is wrong to set up this invade when his mid lane has so much push, and lograrán had the same thing in top. But the support actually just came very late. Elyoya using his Ghost to force that fight from Razork very early, and it's Fresskowy that actually arrived before Humanoid, using that new path on the map to be able to assist, forcing that flash out from him. Now the good news for Razork is he does lose his flash, but it's a trade for Ghost, and he still ends up securing the Gromp, so it's not all bad news for him.
Nope.
And earlier we also saw that both Scuttle Crabs were secured. Razork got the bot side one, and lograrán actually secured the top side one. So in terms of jungle clear, they're still very even. A small camp advantage for Razork. He's not really been put behind that much, and we're still having a very even early game.
And I'm curious to see what the itemization choice is going to be here from Elyoya specifically. Serrated Dirk as an isolated purchase is just strong on the early game for any AD champion, but want to know if he's just going to sit on that or convert it to some more, aggressive lethality itemization. We've gotten very used to the tankier Bel'Veth builds back in the day with like Iceborne, Blade of the Rune King, Kraken. These days we see a lot of carry builds. Stridebreaker is still a solid item for her, but lethality doesn't fit into any of those, so need to see what exactly Elyoya wants to do with it, other than more damage in the early
Sometimes we've also seen people invest in an early Dirk and then sit on it until later.
I mean, yeah, just Kalista Classic, right?
It's just so much value in the early game, right? Especially if you're looking to fight. Now Alvaro has made his way into mid.
For the hook. Humanoid still has ulti available, but gets a bit more space for Fresskowy in the mid lane. Humanoid already getting a plate, 300 gold ahead in the mid lane matchup, just from CS and that additional plate. So this is,
and the top lane matchup as well. Look at that, 300 gold. He's pretty much got a kill advantage for the time being.
This is right now it's not a problem, but you can see already lane assignments have shifted. Supa has now been sent up to the top side of the map. Zac left alone and isolated in the bottom lane. Obviously going to be a very hard champion to dive post level 6. And now Fnatic are a little bit behind in terms of the rotation, but what do Mad Lions Koi do with being first on the rotation?
Another small advantage gained for Razork. Yeah, it looks like Mad Lions really want to commit to these grubs. Of course, the cross map is always an option, but Fnatic are saying they want to fight. They need to get that mid push, get Humanoid involved in the action. He's actually choosing to reset right now, though.
Little grub battle. One picked up by Razork, denying that at the very least.
A wave is just being lost to the top tower right now. Noah didn't pass straight towards the lane. Yeah. Instead, he came down to assist. So a lot of experience is going to be lost. And you can see a small gold swing in favor of Supa, but I mean a literal creep.
Yeah, that 22 gold. Ugh. That's the difference, life and death there. And interesting that Supa not opting to go for Boots 2 here. Between the recurve and the longsword, he may have been just short in terms of gold.
Potentially.
But usually the rush for Kalista. Boots 2, maybe a serrated Dirk if you're a little bit ahead. And obviously an easy serrated Dirk for Noah. It's Fresskowy. Now kind of committing to the all-in here, but Humanoid just casually walking him down, leaping in on the edge of death, but he knows his damage perfectly.
A solo kill for Humanoids. Fresskowy was very close to finding that kill, but he wasn't quite able to find it. Advantage already gained for Fnatic. 8 minutes in.
And I respect the confidence, but Humanoid still has flash. Merwin now gonna be in trouble. And just ult, or E rather, out to
he
safety.
Uses the E after the apprehend is used, so he knows that's not gonna get interrupted. Mad Lions Koi immediately back out onto the map though, gonna steal away this red buff. Elyoya doing what he can to find these advantages. Credit to Razork though. The man is ahead in farm, even though Elyoya is doing what he can to put him behind. But he's got a full level lead for the time being.
Ooh, nice from Jun.
Gets away to safety. Now look at bot lane.
Pull back, easy onto the Zac passive, now gonna get procced. But guess who's really good at doing AoE damage? It's Brand. It's beginning to bounce, maybe not on the ideal targets, but Pillar of Flame about to come down. The smite there too. Merwin still alive!
He looked like he was gonna go back in there with his E.
That's like 4 or 5 for dives that have not worked on the top laners this week,
The
by the way.
really awkward thing, so Razork used his Pillar of Flame early to actually get the initial kill or proc the passive.
So you didn't have the AoE, and then he ults into a pile of minions essentially for 0 damage. Yeah.
It's just, the ult is just bouncing around, having a great time. And lograrán's Q wasn't enough to kill the blobs either.
The one circumstance where you want Brand to ult first and save the W, which feels weird. But the W was the more important skill, the Pillar of Flame.
You're right, yeah. And then also, I don't think like lograrán couldn't ult anything.
Yeah.
Like, you can't ult the
blobs,
I guess.
Again, Nico before Nico, really, with the stack interaction. Even smote one of the little bloblets was not enough. Definitely feels awkward. A lot of resources committed for that. Fnatic aren't going to be too upset, however, as you can see, 90 CS to 62. Massive individual lead for lograrán at this point in the game. Really, only the bottom lane, which is now playing on the top side of the map, is even or slightly ahead for the side of Mad Lions Koi.
All right. The first dragon of the game yet to be taken. Often we see it exchanged for those early grubs, but because of that whole
but because now that they're all on the top side of the map,
which I can't really say I fully understand. But yeah, what they could do is they could push a wave, swap to bot, then they could look to contest that. Whether or not they'll actually do it seems unlikely. And it's very awkward as well for like Jern and Alvaro to get involved in the map, because I know, like, structurally they're the same, but I will say that as an AD carry in top lane, you definitely feel like you're in a lot more danger than compared to being in the bot lane.
Yeah. I mean, also, I just think right now, Mad Lions Koi put themselves where they're, because they've swapped on the harder to gank side. Is that even fair with the new map? I don't know. So what are they going to do with the fact that they've gone for the swap here?
Well, they got 2 grubs.
Topsy-turvy.
And I mean, they have a small gold lead for now. I guess they're playing for the respawn. Here we go. Let's see. Can yeah, it looks like now the cross map is going to come through from Fnatic.
Go. Q already used by Noah. Good damage going down to the Blitzcrank, but they don't really have the tools to follow up at the stage. Flash in from Alvaro, going to lock down at least one. That's Jun gone. Noah probably next. Creep wave needs to get pushed in if they want to try to force the dive. Fnatic has no resources on the top side of the map. No TP for Humanoid as well.
Yeah, they have to try and force this dive
this time
in bot lane.
No Zac passive. They got it last time. Let's Bounce can give him a bit. Percentage max health damage, obviously very strong, and he's just trying to clear the wave, trying to pick up the bloblet, still healing, still living for a little bit more, but Oscar gonna seal the deal this time around.
They make it work. Fnatic get themselves the dragon, and Mad Lions Koi will find a kill on the top side along with the grub. Nice combo there from Razork. Stuns up Frescowi, forces him back. Oh, freeze frame.
Freeze frame.
Look at that beautiful flip from Elyoya.
Oh, look at that
perfect
slow
execution.
Belveth. That was for the Belveth fans out there.
It's like doing a high dive.
Yeah. You really have to appreciate the physicality behind some of these animations.
Like we don't appreciate how hard
Shout
it
out
is.
to the animators.
Yeah, shout out. Elyoya just doing a full front flip somersault.
Yeah, sick.
You'd think just lifting the tail and lowering it, but no,
no,
impact.
Full commit.
It reminds me of, like, do you remember in Bleach when Kenpachi's like, no, I'll tell you, wait. Do you remember when they were like, Kenpachi, you know you can be stronger. Instead of using one hand, you can use two
hands. Okay. Iconic moment in anime.
Beautiful.
Yeah, sometimes reminder that your brain is your most important muscle. Unless you're playing League of Legends, in which case it's your hands.
Anyway, yeah. Next objective. Usually these teams will play for these out of towers next. Herald is spawning in about a minute's time as well, so Mad Lions in an optimal position for that. Oscar in.
Oh, well, we finally see a successful dive onto a top laner. Knock up. Merwin still standing. There's no minion for him to pull. Alvaro now committing. Freeze frame!
Wait for it!
Vote in chat! Will it work? Oscar goes down. It did work. They're completely successful. Frescowi styling on Razork, but he doesn't have the damage. He can't quite finish it. Ooh, skin of his teeth, but the brand is living.
It ends up being another 1-for-1. Hopefully we can get a replay of the dive in top lane. But cross maps continue to happen. Mad Lions Koi, even though they're able to find that kill in top lane, the gold discrepancy just continues to build as Fnatic are finding so many plates. Mid lane at 1.4k gold lead now for Humanoid. A full tower secured for Fnatic in the bot lane.
And you can see the discrepancy in terms of where the gold has been allocated. 2 laners, top and mid, the focus for Fnatic. But now we can look at this. I thought it might just be forbidden to watch the successful top dive. Apparently we are allowed to see it.
So the Hex Slash over the wall. Alvaro goes in. He's going to get the knockup. Oh, and then, okay, AD carry shows up as well. So
where everyone else went wrong was 2v1ing. You have to 4v1 the top laner.
Yeah!
Thank you.
That was beautiful reaction.
I do not know your name, but you represent the hearts and minds of everyone at home who witnessed that particular sequence.
Fantastic.
It was successful. And I think for Mad Lions Koi, a bunch of gold was just regained by Noah, because when we went into that play, there was like a 1.1k gold lead for Supa, so a tower must have gone down. Nice hook to kick things off. Razork pulled back to the team, but they have to be careful about grouping into the brand. Noah's ult is just barely going to connect, but the follow-up damage is not there. Frescowy not quite able to hit with the E. Merwin jumping into the back line. In the meantime, Frescowy continuing to run forward, desperate to finish off Jun. Humanoid stepping back. Now they're fighting right into the funnel. The brand is going to do so much work. The Zac already taken down. Ulti coming in. The pullback is there. Tristana gone, shut down. And Delio's going crazy in the back line. Supa still standing, Supa still bleeding, but Noah is untouched and Fnatic doing so much work in the fight. The Bloblets from Merwin on the backside do not matter. Oscar on the chase. Oscar and Noah hold the line.
Oscar manages to survive the onslaught of Mad Lions Koi and swings the fight in their favor. What a crazy team fight, and such an awkward spot as well. Jun lands a nice hook, but Razork forced to flash early because a very nice hook from Alvaro also comes out. Jun on the retreat, very low HP, flashes from both sides. Beautiful apprehend from Oscarinen to deny the engage from Merwin. Then Jun with a good hook, chain CC into kill, 1-for-1 at this point. The knockup from Alvaro into the hook. Very well played from Mad Lions Koi, but look at the damage coming out from the brand, the passive, the pillar of flame, then the heal from Oscarinen. An incredibly close fight, but Noah was safe on the back line. The sustain from Oscar was enough.
And Noah, together with Razork, was big there. Razork now needing to back up a Humanoid. Ready to full commit to the play. Frescowy just getting chunked out. Charge is there. Knockback is there. Humanoid not quite going to get the reset. Supa now on the chase. One fed Kalista this time. Positioned to do well. But Oscar running in. There's no angle to respond here.
So just all 5 members of top lane. Merwin pushing in the bot side. Should be able to get a tower back. Wow. Both these teams are just ready to fight, but it's Fnatic that keep finding the advantages. 3K is the gold lead now.
They group into the funnel against Brand, and it looks bad because Elioyo is full AD, so when he ults and gets the reset, he does a ton of damage, he does a ton of work. But the fact that Razork's able to burst him out before the second proc comes through on that ult reset to stop any potential follow-up is huge, and credit to Noah. I thought he was going to be one of the points of weakness in this matchup because he's had a rough couple weeks, but he is not falling behind, and despite all the resources put into Supa by the side of Mad Lions Koi, he's keeping even across this entire game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the individual that's struggling to have an impact in this game right now is Frescowy. It was always going to be a difficult laning phase for him, but dying in the 1v1 just accelerated the matchup in favor of Humanoid, and now when we look in these fights, every single time he tries to get in, there's just no easy way for him to threaten that backline. So there's Akali not quite working out the way that Mad Lions Koi would have hoped. Oh, big interrupt.
Nice pullback is there as well. Bouncing through. Humanoid surely dead on this one.
Really
Supa
nice
gonna get the money.
Humanoid messing up the buffer there on his W means that Merwin does get that interrupt, and they find a quick pick. Oscar will trade it on the top side of the map, but the Dragon is up. And with all 5 members on the bot side of the map, this should be an easy objective secure for Mad Lions Koi. No TP, of course, on Oscarinen.
Little Fnatic Death Brush there. Setting up just to maybe catch out an over-eager Mad Lions Koi, but they've done their due diligence here.
Alvaro is sniffing. He's hunting. He's found a target.
Oh, yeah. Looking to take up Razork. Flash in, knock up, follow up immediately from the Velvet. Pull back from Jun is key there. Razork's going to be able to get his combo off. Is it going to be enough damage? Yes, he manages to take out one. Goes into the bush. Dropping sight, not enough against Kalista anymore. Mad Lions Koi immediately firing back. 2-for-1 trade in their favor.
Mad Lions Koi continue to find picks, knowing that Oscarinen is on the top side of the map. Razork and Jun, they think they're safe in their half of the map, but Mad Lions Koi prove otherwise. 2 quick kills. They're going to get themselves another Dragon. And the fans once again erupt.
There's just not enough creeps on that top side wave to allow Oscar to push in any further. So Dragon taken down, 1-for-1 matched up here. And an incredibly back and forth game. I mean, we're 18 minutes in. We've got 15 kills on the board, 7-8. I think the big thing for me is keeping track of Oscar in these upcoming fights is going to be huge. They've done a good job of killing Brand, of killing Humanoid when they found him out, but Merwin, while he's offered excellent setup, it's like, how much is the Zac setup worth compared to a pretty, I would say, turbo-fed Darius? Maybe that's too generous, but he does have a 1.7k individual gold lead. He's going to be a big problem.
Yep, I agree. Let's see it.
Nice knockup. Maybe not such a big problem if they're able to take him down. Nice knockup there. Infinite CC is a great way to take him out of the equation.
They get both the summoner spells out. They're also going to secure the tower top. Mad Lions Koi are just moving around the map as this little death group. Elioya, Supa, and Alvaro. just constantly looking for opportunities to punish their opponents, just sitting isolated from the rest of their team, and it's working very nicely. The only downside is Fnatic are consistently cross-mapping. They're continuing to get these objectives. It's 4 towers to 2 in favor of Fnatic, and they still hold on to about a 2 to 3k gold lead.
It's really on Mad Lions Koi to convert these picks into something greater. They're not really able to get a lot done topside, but when a Baron becomes available, when they feel confident enough to try to force that objective down, which admittedly might be hard with their composition, but you know, I'm not really familiar with full lethality build.
Yeah, this is new tech to me, yeah.
As an option to obliterate the objective. Gets a lot of, you know, attack speed from her passive, additional movement speed going to feel good as well, and her ratios are decent on a lot of her abilities, but just need to see what it can do against a Baron before I'm confident in their ability to take that one down early. And in the meantime, Fnatic trading up. Yes, Mad Lions Koi are getting kills, they're buying time, they're shutting down a lot of key members, but Fnatic are taking down towers, which is a significantly more impactful, or is going to be when we play around these objectives.
It still feels like a very tense game. Jun, is he going to face check once again? He's cautious.
Out. Support now taken down. No chance for the Nautilus to push a single button. And instantly Zach is into the back line. Alvaro trying to follow up. The knockup going on to Supa, but there's no other damage to come through. TP coming in onto the ward. Not ideal. Would have preferred it on the Zach, but Frescowy there just in time for the team. Oscar now walking forward. No sums available. Frescowy going to need to dash out to safety. Mad Lions Koi happy with a single pick onto the enemy support. Costs them a TP, but so far they haven't lost anything else in exchange.
Credit to Jun. Even in his final moments, flashing in, getting the knock-up onto Merwin in the hopes that they could trade something back. But with the arrival of Frescowy, it forces Fnatic to disengage, and Mad Lions Koi find another pick. They brought the kills 8 to 8. They're doing a really good job of just finding great fights. And while they are finding objectives here and there, they haven't quite been able to solidify a gold lead for now. But it just goes to show Mad Lions Koi definitely not down and out. They're a very creative team, but will always find these unique angles to punish their opponents. And they're definitely catching Fnatic off guard multiple times throughout this game.
And if Fnatic can't punish with a greater objective, the Mad Lions Koi are essentially just buying time for their respective carries to scale up. Frescowy, yes, he has Rocket, but would really love to have another full completed item before they go into a big team fight. And you can see how Zach is just going to be infuriating to play against for Humanoid and Noah as we get later and later in these fights. Razork as well. Humanoid certainly the tools to reposition, but Razork and Noah don't have that luxury outside of Flash.
Exactly. All right, so we return to a neutral state. Blue buffs are being distributed to their respective teams. Mad Lions Koi setting up around the Baron, controlling that vision and creating a point of pressure that Fnatic now have to respect. Pushing in the mid lane from the side of Fnatic. Frescowy pushing top, but he doesn't have TP. Could be a good window for Fnatic to try and force a fight. Look at Merwin.
This is good for Humanoid, but Razork has to be careful with the Zach coming over the wall. Knockup is there, and Merwin immediately going to be forced to ult after he pushes that just to try to make it out to safety. Let's bouncing away, but Noah found the kill! Supa off to the side, taken out of the equation, and now Mad Lions Koi. There's not a bullet loaded into this gun. They just don't have any kill pressure.
I'm impressed that Noah was able to find that. Fnatic look very scattered in the middle of that fight. Mad Lions this time around couldn't convert it into a pick. They don't decide to force the Baron. They recognize Dragon is spawning soon. Instead, they're going to go for a reset, spend some of the gold.
You have branded double 80. I guess you don't want to flip it. We saw a lot of flips yesterday.
Zach can be very obnoxious in that tight space, right? So maybe they don't want to. They just want to play it safe, play for the Dragon instead.
I understand it. That said, it is Varus, Tristana, Brand. So I do believe that they would kill it quite quickly. But we'll see what the setup looks like as we get later into the game.
Hubris.
Hubris for Noah. Okay, if you missed it, this is how this item works. You get 15 AD plus 2 for every kill once you get the item, once the item is active. It's like a temporary Medjai's that never loses the stacks, but it's kill reliant. That's the trade-off. Oh,
nice
back on Merwin is huge. He's got no ultimate. Can't see that if he's got the passive already. Does not. So we'll just get picked off there. And now I think Fnatic are feeling a little bit more confident about that Baron.
They still have their eyes set on the Dragon. Razork's going to make his way towards that one. Vision needs to be cleared out. There's a lot invested from Mad Lions Koi around this objective. Alvaro needs to get out. He gets away to safety, perfectly fine. Oscar Renin just scouting around. TP is available for Merwin, so I'd be surprised if Fnatic tried to force that objective now. They'll take the Dragon instead. Once again, they'll play it safe. Clear out the jungle. Okay, we've very interesting game. It's been a lot about picks, I will say. Individuals just getting caught out here and there. We've had, I think, 2 significant team fights that have gone largely in the favor of Fnatic. Mad Lions Koi definitely not out of this game just yet. Rocket Belt plus Lichbane combination from Friscowie, a little bit more mobility, and Lichbane I definitely think is increasing in popularity.
Yeah. And I think in a lot of these fights where you're kind of going to eat some upfront burst damage but then try to live through, you get a lot of Lichbane procs off.
For sure.
Also, Akali, very passive dependent, kind of makes sense as an item generally. Hook gonna go in, Elyoya caught out. E already used, knock up as well. That's a jungler dead. That was not a good call. All of them now retreating. Jun, the hook not gonna connect. Mad Lions Koi now put completely on the back foot. They have to be ready to risk the 50-50. They've once again hooked Jun, nice combo, nice setup. Fnatic say, okay, let's get this party started. Oscar now stepping forward, not quite gonna find the execute. Mad Lions Koi losing another member for nothing.
It was a cool combo, as you called it, Dracos, but that did not go the way that Mad Lions Koi wanted. Fnatic with 5 members strong. Hooking in the Darius is an ambitious play.
Oscarden should just be dead here. Lots of healing to buy a bit more space. Sterix as well. Objective going down. Frescowie knowing the pit has to just flash out to safety. And still everyone on Fnatic is standing. But Human now going in. Supa taken down. Fnatic on the hunt. Noah on the chase. Pull back. Instantly going to get one shot. No, they need a little more damage. Frescowie! It doesn't push the button! Oh, that's going to hurt Fnatic at the Baron. 5 members standing.
The hubris is strong with Noah. He stood in the face of that Akali and walked away with his life.
And
Baron secured.
Hubris is absolutely the name for it. We're 20 minutes. This item is an absolute greed fest. At 15, he's got 3 stacks. That's it.
So a hook connects onto Oscarinen. He holds onto the flash for a very long time. He knows the execute is coming, flashes away from it. And Friscowie then has to flash in response. Super flashes away to safety. The control ward is dropped, but we're back to live.
Back to live.
Nice
sidestep from Malboro, especially with the slow coming in. It's just going to zoom his way out to safety. Flag array will connect onto Elyoya as well, and Merwin just going to try to clear the wave to stop a Baron push from coming in. Fnatic right now playing on a single lane. The Mad Lions Koi have pretty terrible wave clear, so this should be an easy tier 2 for Fnatic.
Fnatic now just beginning their slow and steady siege. We're only 26 minutes in, but this feels like Fnatic's game to lose. They're stacked as 5 members into the top lane. They know that they can win this team fight.
Go in, knock up. Zach instantly interrupted on the backside. Is going to get the connection on 2, but that's an easy kill pickup.
3 deaths.
2, 3. Fnatic just slaughtering Mad Lions Koi.
Did they even lose any HP off that fight?
Nope.
That was insane. Jun with the interrupt onto the engage from Merwin. Absolutely no threat onto the backline. 5-0-9 is the scoreline for Noah. He definitely hasn't had the strongest split, but he is stepping up today.
And that's all that matters. Be there on the day. Be there when it counts. And in game 1, Fnatic are here. Fnatic are stepping up. Fnatic decimating Mad Lions Koi in our first match.
A convincing victory from Fnatic. Humanoid getting a solo kill in the mid lane. Sure, he got caught off a couple times.
Sure.
But Oscarinen doing a great job with that Darius.